Good morning, everybody. It's 5:10, Tuesday, June 18th. Oh, it's the standard time. Oh, it's a good yawn. Okay, let's take a look at Litecoin. Okay, on my wave theory, 1, 2, 3, we had previously hit the bottom the top of the second wave, the last wave, which we did. But I think I know what I got wrong. You see, the arches, the waves have to be curved. So this is not inclusive to the correction because this was a dump done by people actually we hit the high, we're selling out. What actually has to happen, if you see these arches, we have to observe that this is manipulated. Here, what occurred was just people dumping. It's not arched. You see? This has to be manipulated down. So since this was a user-induced, an average person like you or myself dumping after we hit the high price. No, the manipulator was unprepared for that. He missed his chance because by all rights he thinks he should have been doing it. So what does he do? It goes back, almost back up to the top, then he starts manipulating it down. Now a lot of people are calling for, I heard 130, 131. We went down to 127. But as we know, we're always usually at the bottom of the previous wave, which would put us right around 124. I could be off. Because if you usually before it goes up, they've been pushing the 20 EMA toward the 100 EMA, which is this red line. You'll see. In this case, they pushed it toward the 50. They pushed it toward the 50. So we're still not exactly at the 50 on the 4 hour. So I'm saying that we're going to go down to around 125, 124. I could be wrong. It's just all, trying to see what the manipulator does in this case. After 3 waves up, I don't think the manipulator did this wave and this wave, and then somebody came in behind him and did this wave. FOMO, pushed it up that high, and then FOMO dumped, and then the manipulator said, hey, well, I didn't do that, and he started going back to the way he wants things. I mean, the big money is obviously going to move the market, but I don't think the big money was prepared for the FOMO that happened right here. And what happened right here, it was out of its control there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. They might help us, whatever Bitcoin does. Usually that's what Litecoin will do. Right now it seems like okay. One, two, three. I think we're right around, if we're repeating Bitcoin's pattern, we should be right around here in this area. But our RSI is going to go down lower. It's so hard to tell on this market. Where exactly where we are. Even on Bitcoin, you'll notice, look, down to the previous wave, right? And then back up. Bitcoin did hit the previous wave. So I've been trying to, so I could be wrong. This could be, this upswing could be this upswing. And it looks like it's doing the same exact thing that Bitcoin's doing. It is. So I might be totally wrong. My wave theory is correct. But as far as the time frame, yes, they are in agreement. Now we have hit on Bitcoin, if you notice, we have hit the bottom of that last wave. Now where to actually increase, we have to be above this wave, which would be 9,340. So we already moved from $129 up to 132. I don't know. I say Litecoin has more room to go down. Going by the 4 hour, you see, we didn't. When the last wave began, we were way down in the dumps on a 27. The last wave, we were down in a 31. So I'm calling out that we're going to continue to go down till this RSI hits the 30, at least the 30, and where it hits the bottom of this last wave, 100 in the 120s. I think we have more room to go down because that's what he's been doing all the time. But this is what makes a TA hard to do, is the manipulation. This is where they're getting it wrong, because you don't know how far the manipulator is going to go. All right. Now we're in a bull market, so it leaves you seriously doubt that he'll be able to meet the last previous wave's bottom. You know, where it went sideways because of the manipulation. Plus, this is a bull market. The manipulator has been trying really hard. You can see it on the 1 hour. Look what he's been doing. You see? He's having a hard time pushing it down here. This is costing him money. And then look, it retraces. He has to push it down again. Then it retraces back up. He has to push it down again. And look at the size of these candle wicks now. Trying to drop it below the 130. So I'm thinking that his resistance is 129, 130. He might not be able to break it. Not that he's not going to try. But he might be unsuccessful in breaking it below 130 and keeping it. In other words, when he's bringing his price down, he wants to bring it down so he can trigger stop losses and get as much coin on the cheap as he can before the next wave up. And then he's going to sell it to FOMO. I get what's going on. If you think to make any money in this market, since it's heavily manipulated, you have to think like a manipulator. Okay. Now, if you have all the money and you want to expand, what do? I want to make maximum profit. What am I going to do? I'm going to, before the next wave up, I'm going to drive this down as far as I can, right? So instead of buying at 135, I want to buy it in 129 and let it go up to 180. So, but I don't know how far he's going to drive this down. It's all in the mind of this manipulator. That's why I keep asking Coinbase. I know it's being manipulated. Give me the name to your market maker, because he is the one that's manipulating you, so I can turn him in. You get no response. It's obvious manipulation. You can see by, look at these long wicks. They're forcing it under. He's got a large stash of coin, and he's willing to make as much money as he can on the liquidity side. This is why he's driving down the price. He's buying coin all day long. He's driving down the price, and then he wants you to jump in, and he's going to provide liquidity, and he's going to get his cut. This is why I say the market maker on Coinbase might not be an outside source. It might be an inside source to Coinbase, or somebody that's very close to Coinbase, and his name should be divulged. It should be divulged. Because I think there's a conflict of interest to have somebody that's connected to Coinbase somehow being the actual market maker. I don't know, people. We have to keep an eyeball on this, guys, before you jump in. Where you got to catch the falling knife, and you don't want to hurt you. I honestly, to tell you, if it's going to go down to 125, I would put my buys in 125. Now that's just my opinion. Going by that, he always brings it down to the bottom of the last wave. So we're looking at 124.43. But then again, I'm going off Coinbase, so I could be a couple of dollars off. Let me see something. Let's go to the record and see if there's any other place. See, the last time they got it down to 132. I'm looking to see if they got it lower during this wave. 133. He's really, I don't understand him. He's really struggling to get this price down, and it's just bouncing right back up. So again, he's trying to get in and trigger people's stop losses so he can get the. This whole thing is manipulated. It's very easy to see what they're doing, but you can make money. I'm not to the point, if nobody is willing to do anything, I'm not going to feel guilty about making money following, now that I know the manipulator's pattern. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Coinbase knows what they're doing is wrong. But then you don't want to be taken either. So now we have a clear grasp of what this manipulator is doing. So you might as well come in and take your profit. Now, when it hits bottom, I think it's going to gain $50. Because we're in a bull market, and I think it's really going to gain momentum. So the last two waves up, we've gained $40. So I think this one will gain $50. $40 to $50. One wave was $37. Okay, I can go through this here. This wave from here to here was $37. This wave from here, right here with the crosses, to here was around 40. Let me see. We'll do the math. I've been noticing that the waves, the amounts from top to bottom have been increasing. A good thing for anybody that's traded, by the way. So that was 85, 143 minus 85. So you could see this last wave was $58. from here. I counted just before it took off. Because they all dip just before they go up. That's $100. $43. So we went 37 to 43, $6. So I think the next wave is going to be a $50 wave or close to it. And we're going to see if this is the bottom here, 175. But again, if you're going to be a good trader, you want to maximize profit, you would actually have to sit here when that swing trade occurs. Also, I notice you'll see the movement begin on Binance, and then it'll trickle over to Coinbase. I think this move is going to be epic because the manipulator's really being aggressive getting the price down. He really is. Now you see what I said? It happens on Binance first, and then it just copies it over to Coinbase. This is because the market makers are being led by a central authority or figure. In other words, the market manipulators are meeting each other and talking about what, we're going to duplicate everything together. This is a larger market, so when they try to manipulate the price over here, it's going to be more erratic. So keep your eyes open, people. That's the best I could say. This one's a funny one because look, we hit before we hit. I could say we hit the bottom of this last wave. So up we started going, so it looked like we were going to go up, but I'm guessing this was just a sell-off when we sold off after we hit the top, and the market maker must have missed it or something and decided that he wants to accumulate before the next wave up. And he's just going to duplicate this wave right here. Our market maker dropped the ball. Plus, he wants the RSI lower. It's. He might want it lower, but we shall see. We shall see. This is a game of how low is he gonna go. Everybody's saying the 120s. Those people I agree with, but exactly where in the 120s? I'll go by the. I'll show you why. Remember the last waves? This happened exactly the same way. You see, didn't quite make it until he came in and hit the bottom of the wall. See, the bottom of the previous rise. Which should be down around here. But you see, this is a very strong up candle. You see, this is hard to follow. It really is. Now now you look at the EMAs too. If he does do that, he's going to crush the 20 toward the 100, like he did over here. But on this one, he pushed it down to the 20 hit the 50. So I'm going to say more down. Going by the EMAs, going by my wave theory, he's going to bring the price down further because that's just what a manipulator does. He might want 130, don't know, but his goal might be 125, around there. So you honestly have to watch the market. If it goes up from here, it goes up around $50. We're looking at 180, 181. If he drives it down to 25, 125, the goal is 175. Of course, we all prefer the 181, but that's if he gives it to us. We don't know. Now let's go back to we know we're going to duplicate Bitcoin. Let's take a look what's going on over here. Okay, we springboarded back up, but now we seem to be going back down. I would say we're going down to around 89. I would say 89. We're way overboard on Bitcoin. Well, we were. But again, before the next leg up, that RSI has to hit 30. So it's just a way to gain people. You actually to make money. You have to be in the seat. You have to be watching them. Each consecutive wave has been driving it lower and lower. That's the market manipulator, aka the market maker. Coinbase knows all about this. And if they sit there, they're not. Well, Coinbase now, you can no longer call in and say, hey, look, I've been sending them emails because they changed their call center. They outsourced it to God knows where because it was cheaper. The last people you have, if you call now into Coinbase with a problem, you're going to get someplace in India. All right? So right then and there, people should stop using Coinbase. You know, they speak that this is freedom, crypto is freedom, and they're doing the same Goldman Sachs routine, outsourcing, getting people, hiring people that basically cannot help you. I open up a case, it's closed, it's never going to be resolved. I can tell you that right now. They separated their service center from you even further by miles and by the quality of service that you get. This is how they're covering for their manipulation. So if you can't call it in and their people are over there doing sloppy work, they're going to say, well, we never heard about it. Bullshit. Now they're going to use it. The call centers, you're traded in the United States. This is U.S.-based exchange, and the call center's out in what? Chennai? Mumbai? Where is it? What are you doing it through Continuum Solutions? Which I do believe they're doing it through Continuum Solutions. You know why? Because that's one of their main investors, Citibank, has their call center. They set the. This is another thing too. Citibank sets up these companies in foreign countries, then outsources the work to the company they know, and then they tell you, well, they outsourced it to foreign competition because they work cheaper. The company didn't exist until you set it up in the foreign country. You fucking pack of liars. That's just the way these guys work. They think people can't figure it out. Just like this scam they're trying to do with impeach Trump. I'm sorry. I may not like the guy, but I look at the evidence, okay? I don't like to get political, but that's just the atmosphere that we're living in. This just goes to show you there's no evidence of anything, but they'll still keep doing it because they can get away with it. Here we have clear evidence this is all manipulated. Clear evidence that Trump has been set up. There's clear evidence. But they'll just deny it and keep going. Just to get their way, just to get their money. And people are getting sick and tired of it. And sooner or later, it's going to catch up to Coinbase. Okay? It's just a matter of time. After we clean out the biggest scoundrels, we're going to be coming for you. All right, guys. Have a good one. Keep your eyes on the price. Don't trust this falling knife, this manipulator here. Don't trust them at all. Coinbase is, I'm telling you, Coinbase is working in collusion with the market maker if they're not directly the market maker themselves. All right, later, people.